Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. So, the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Arizona Cardinals away, but it really seemed like a home game. I guess a lot of retirees from Pittsburgh decided to go to Arizona or something, or just something in Arizona. Really, they just have a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans. And I picked Arizona +3. I took the 3 points, and they lost by 6. So, I lost this one. And I'm going to give you a couple reasons why I think the Pittsburgh Steelers won. I'm going to explain about Kyler Murray, what's going on with him. I thought he was playing great in the beginning of the year. And a couple other things. What is the Pittsburgh ceiling for the playoffs? Can they even make it because of Tennessee Titans and stuff like that? So let's just start off. And why did the Cardinals lose this game? Why was I wrong? So first of all, the Arizona Cardinals, for the first couple months, they weren't turning the ball over. If you look at Kyler Murray's stats in the beginning, he was really efficient. He wasn't turning the ball over. Now, he's a turnover machine. Let's explain the 3 turnovers. So the first one, Joe Hayden, it was an out route, and he just jumped the route. And that could have been 3 easy points if he doesn't throw that interception right there. And then, in the fourth quarter, with 13 minutes left, they go for it on 4th and 2 on the 3-yard line, I think it was. And Kyler Murray tries to make a play. And TJ Watt just, again, jumps the route. I don't think it was particularly close. And finally, with 4th and 17, the last couple seconds, Kyler Murray just throws it across his body. I don't care about that. That shows he has fight. Some quarterbacks I want my stats, so they kind of just throw it away. They take the sack or something like that. He was trying to make a play there. Don't care about that. I think that those interceptions shouldn't really count against your stats. But again, whatever. It's whatever. So in the first couple of games, let's look at Kyler Murray's game logs. For overall, he has 16 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and his QBR is It's 55.6. At one point, he was top 5 in the league in QBR, but now it's all the way down because his turnovers have gone up, and he hasn't been running the ball. And I think that's because of his injuries, his hamstrings. In college, he was able to run around defenders. But, oh my God, Bud Dupree was eating him for lunch the entire game. He was trying to get the edge. He couldn't. With Minkah Fitzpatrick one time, trying to get the edge. And Kyler Murray couldn't. Kyler Murray couldn't make that play. In college, he was able to, and he was kind of rattled. He's kind of surprised that aspect is taken away from him. I think that may be because of his hamstrings. But, again, these guys run 4.3s and 4.4s and 4.5s. In college, they're not taking any 40-yard dash times. They're not as fast. And you're playing in the Big 12. You're playing with Big 12 defenses. So you're not playing against the best of the crew. You're not playing against the SEC guys. You're playing against those guys. But anyway, so let's look at his game log. So his first game was against Detroit, where he came back against the Lions. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And then the next game, he played Baltimore. Pretty efficient, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but he didn't lose that game. But he didn't win that game either. They lost 23-17 against Baltimore. And then against Carolina was his last real game with a lot of interceptions. He had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a loss against Carolina, 38-20. I'm not sure what went on in that game, but he had a 70% completion, 70% completion percentage. What am I saying? And his QBR was 63. But then, for a couple of weeks, he really didn't turn the ball over. 1 interception, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, and now 3. And for those games, he wasn't taking a lot of sacks either. 4, 1, 0, 2, 3, 3, 2. But in the last couple of games, he's taken a lot of sacks. And the last couple of games, he hasn't been that efficient. He hasn't really been that efficient throwing the football, and his run game has really struggled. When he's able to use his legs, he's successful because it's that second aspect. And the offensive line is kind of crumbling. They've been dealing with a bunch of injuries on this offensive line, and they weren't even good in the first place. So the health of this offensive line, and plus they're not really fighting for anything. They're fighting for a first overall pick. So a combination of a bunch of it. Kyler Murray, he's all right. But now we look at it. Oh, I thought Daniel Jones was a turnover machine. Oh, all of a sudden, Kyler Murray has 9 interceptions. He was the efficient one. That's why you play out an entire season. That's why a guy like Duck Hodges may not be that good overall. We saw that with Kyle Allen. The more games you play, the more you regress to the mean. The more games Nick Foles plays, the more he rests to the mean. I said the more Mitch Trubisky plays, the more he's going to look better because he's I think he's a better quarterback than a lot of people think. The more reps you get, the better. Obviously, there are a lot of little intricacies with football because there aren't large sample sizes like baseball. But, Kyler Murray, he's played 13 games, 16 touchdowns. 16. Daniel Jones has 18 in, I think, 10 games. So you can't say that Kyler Murray is all this great quarterback. Duck Hodges now has outplayed 2 number 1 overall quarterbacks in 2 weeks. Let me transition to Duck Hodges because he's played really well. He's 16 for 19. He's executing the game plan, but there's a lot of smoke and mirrors here. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of reverses and flea flickers. And the main question I have for this team is: are they able to run a legitimate offense? When they play the Ravens, when they play the Patriots, is this going to work? Or if they have to revert back to a normal offense, is it sustainable? Now they're playing without their two main, offensive players, and James Conner and Juju Smith-Schuster. And they're playing well with a combination of Jalen Samuel. I forgot the guy who was number 40, but he's playing really well. I think it was White or something like that. They're playing really well, but it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of trick plays. But Duck Hodges has been able to make great plays. There's a 3rd and 2 where he just threw it on a dime. But he's also taking a lot of underneath stuff. He's taking what the defense gives him, and he's executing the game plan, which is all you need to ask for. With a lot of quarterbacks like Kyler Murray, they're asked almost to do a lot because, they're the number 1 overall pick. But with Pittsburgh, where was this creativity with Ben Roethlisberger? Where is this stuff with, I guess they didn't trust Mason Rudolph, but they're really creative on offense. A bunch of just jet sweeps and bootlegs and guys making plays. There's one play where, I forget who, but he runs on the right side, and he realizes there's nothing there. So then he reverses the entire field, runs 50 yards the other way, and ends up getting a first down and runs over to the 3. And it was a huge play in the game because it was like a 3rd down. You either get the field goal, and I think they ended up getting a touchdown out of it. So there are things like that. And the thing with the Pittsburgh offense is they had a lot of lucky breaks because of questionable pass interference calls. And are they going to get those breaks throughout the game? They had a lot of lucky breaks with Arizona, with the turnovers. Duck Hodges didn't turn the ball over. He had 1 or 2 fumbles, but they had a couple of trick plays that didn't work. With those trick plays, once they don't work, it gets really tough, especially if you play a team like the Patriots in order to be sustainable in this league. When your trick plays start not working against a team that's disciplined, that knows your plays, because now they're starting to run all these trick plays. Duck Hodges, now the team is starting to prepare for these plays. You're not some athlete like Lamar Jackson, just like no matter what, you'll be able to juke out a guy like Lamar did to one of the Buffalo defenders. This is Duck Hodges, and there's a reason why he was undrafted. There's a reason why guys don't go undrafted and make the Hall of Fame. Because there's a certain amount of talent that you have to have. But we've seen it with Kyle Allen. He was undrafted, and he was successful for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and now he's regressed to the mean. And when does Duck Hodges regress to the mean? I think their ceiling is probably a playoff win. It depends who they play. So they would be a number 6 seed, potentially even a number 5 seed. The Arizona Cardinals should be focusing towards the draft. Who do they draft? Offensive lineman Andrew Thomas. Give Kyler Murray time. So I think it's concerning a little bit. Kyler Murray, can he see over the top? He can't beat defenders anymore. Is this long-term sustainable in the NFL? A small guy? Again, there are reasons why only 2 guys in the history of the NFL were under 6 foot, Doug Flutie and Russell Wilson. There are reasons why. It's not because there isn't an amazing athlete like Kyler Murray. There have been amazing athletes that have come up, but they're not fast enough. They can't see over the offensive line. And they haven't really had the skill set or the hand size. Kyler Murray's hand size is a big deal. He just dropped the ball when just running. That's weird. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think the Arizona Cardinals ceiling is. The Pittsburgh Steelers ceiling is. What's wrong with Kyler Murray? Do you think he's going to be able to be successful in this league? And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.